Rough day.
You have no idea.
Let's talk about it.
Being a woman has its advantages, but it's not an easy ride. Balancing careers, relationships, motherhood, family, and life can be quite the challenge. Sometimes you have to be a lady, and sometimes you gotta be a broad. Welcome to the Two Broads from Boca, the place where we talk about all the things you think about but don't say out loud.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Two Broads from Boca. I'm Amy Schreiman, and this is my lovely co-host,
Lorianne Gary. Welcome.
How are you? How was your week?
Oh, what a week.
Yeah,
Another
we'll talk about it later.
long week. Lots of social events.
Can't
lots
wait.
happening,
I'm
as
so
always.
yes, it's just glorious being social in Boca. Anyway, tonight we're going to dive right into our show. We have a very special guest, an old friend of mine. Well, I hate saying old, a longtime friend of mine, Lisa Delaney, who is a certified nutritionist, and she's going to talk to us today about nutrition. What's important, what's not. I walk around my house starving because I don't know what to eat. And I'm afraid to eat a carb, although I've never met a carb I didn't like. So explain to us, what is going on with this whole, like, just protein, no fat? No, you can't even go to the bathroom anymore because there's no fat.
So there's a lot of misinformation out there. And one of the things that happens is that we shop for our answers. So not eating carbs is probably the biggest mistake anybody can do.
Why?
When you don't eat carbs, you crave carbs.
And then you binge.
Yes. Well, you'll binge on anything. You could binge on things with fat or without fat. It doesn't really matter. The thing is to really kind of eat from all food groups.
Okay.
So that means that there is a percentage of your diet from protein, some from fat, and some from carbs. So let's talk about that a little bit.
She knows. Let's talk about it.
So what's a carb?
Anything that is good.
Exactly.
No, and vegetables are carbs. People
Right.
don't know that.
Yes.
Fruits are carbs. People
Correct.
don't know that. See, that's why,
Right.
because I'm a nurse.
And some dairy products are carbs.
Yes.
Right? They have
Like
carbs
ice
and
cream.
protein together. Right?
Yes, and of course breads, grains, and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Legumes
Then you have those
and
ancient
beans.
grains that are pretty much a big theme of.
What is an ancient, like
An
quinoa?
ancient grain is your buckwheats, your farro, your
I enjoy a farro.
farro's
I
good.
love farro.
It is. You don't find it too many places.
I know.
Right.
Wow.
It's getting there. It's
like the
definitely
Italian
quinoa.
barley.
You know how quinoa's
yeah.
everywhere now.
Yes.
Any kind of whole grain
Okay.
provides the body with at least 1 to 2 hours. Carbs get a bad rap
They do.
because they don't last.
They don't.
So when you eat carbs,
You
you
want
need
more.
more carbs. That doesn't mean that you should eat carbs alone. So in my philosophy of registered dietitianing, that's what I would always recommend. So you never eat a carb alone. You never eat a piece of fruit alone. You never eat vegetables alone. You kind of combine that with the protein. Why?
Yeah, why?
Because protein lasts longer. Way longer. 3 to 5 hours.
Oh.
Okay? So if you finish a meal,
And you're
by the
still
way,
hungry.
every carb, every protein has a fat attached to it, and you are still hungry. Well, that's another whole topic, because then you have to kind of wait that 20 to 30 minutes before the stomach tells the brain
Exactly.
it's full.
I'm
And
trying that.
generally, if you do wait that long, you will find you are way more satiated than you think. But the combination is killer.
But I don't understand. I'm telling you, I don't even understand. Like, for example, people, like, rice is like, you might as well be Dracula and have garlic. People won't eat rice. But then they tell you eat rice and beans.
Right.
Why?
Well, people won't eat rice because they're misinformed.
Right. I'm
that-
deathly
that
afraid
is-
of it. I won't even buy. I run by it in the supermarket.
I mean,
I'm so afraid of rice.
The only scientific research behind not eating rice is, or carbs in general, is just whether or not you want whole grains.
Okay.
Okay, and then you would bear to the right of, things like brown rice or basmati rice or
I like that.
the ancient grains are all whole grains. The squashes. So your butternut. I mean, like Thanksgiving. It's next week already. Oh my God, next week,
I don't wanna
right?
talk about it.
10 days, people.
Right.
10 days and 10 pounds in 10 days.
That makes that whole holiday is a lot of carbs, but it's a lot of those really good carbs. The
Stuffing.
butternut squash, the acorn squash, the spaghetti squash,
Potatoes.
yes,
Potatoes.
the potatoes,
Stuffing.
all unprocessed carbs.
Okay, so
Those are not the
unprocessed.
same
As like Wonder Bread.
as
Not a
Wonder
good
Bread.
option.
It's not the same as cookies, cakes, pies,
That's a
candy.
shame. Even if
Makes
it's
a big
pumpkin
difference.
pie.
Even ice cream.
I know
That's
it's bad.
real ice cream. Haagen-Dazs, Ben and Jerry's, the higher fat percentage. The gelato that has just no cream. It has just sugar. That becomes a lot more real, and so therefore it provides the body with a lot more energy. Therefore, it lasts longer.
Okay. Wow. It's a lot to learn. There is a lot to learn. So, for example, because our audience is not knowledgeable or as knowledgeable as you, what do you do, like particularly as you turn a women after 40, we kind of have our body fat changes, we get hormone changes, our bodies change. Some women get bigger abdomens, some women gain weight. I am one of those women. This is the heaviest I've been in forever. What should a typical day for a woman be? Do we worry about calories? Do we worry about the number on the scale?
So, numbers are not a big thing.
Okay.
Okay, numbers on the scale don't really give you the clarification of what those numbers really are. How much of you is protein? I mean, how much of you is muscle? How much of you is fat?
Okay.
So the distribution as you age of fat percentage should not necessarily keep increasing. As that increases, weight loss becomes harder. Why? Because fat is not metabolically active. It lowers your metabolic rate. The only thing that burns calories is muscle. So, hence why we need to exercise. We don't need to exercise to a certain number of calories, we just need to exercise. So, the more you exercise, an hour a day, 40 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day, that makes a big difference in terms of your percentage of fat to muscle.
Okay. So I
Okay.
go to the gym every day and I dance 3 nights a week,
Right,
an hour or two.
right,
So it's a lot
Yeah.
for an old bag.
right.
So what should a typical day for somebody who just goes to the gym 3 times a week? What would be a typical diet for them? Like, how do you start? Like, I had oatmeal today, and I felt guilty all day. I almost called you. I was going to hang myself because I had oatmeal.
No, but I think aren't those things okay in the
I don't
morning? It's
know.
just because you're burning it as the day goes
Why do
on,
you-
isn't
why do
it?
you-
I
Yeah,
feel
why-
guilty
not
because
okay?
it's a carb, and you shouldn't have carbs. And
But
I
if
get
you're eating it early in the day and you're
know.
burning it
Well,
off,
3
that's
o'clock
your-
in the morning.
Well, yeah, not at that time.
No, I
but-
mean, it was like 7 o'clock this morning. I had a cup of oatmeal, I had a cup of coffee, and I had a hard-boiled egg.
Right, see, you had the protein in there.
I thought of
Okay.
you.
Now, if you didn't have that protein in there,
Not enough.
that little cup of oatmeal would have lasted nothing.
Okay.
That's the difference.
So the whole idea is to eat so that your food
Right. So
lasts.
especially as you get older, you want to burn efficiently.
Right? Yes.
When you're younger,
I hate people. who
everything's
don't.
more forgiving, because you're way more active. Just generally, you're not as sedentary. Even if we're not sedentary, as we age, we're way more than we were when we were 10 and 15 and 25.
Life 1, women 0.
Right?
Yeah, no, I know.
Right. So that is a factor.
Okay. So
What to eat.
what to eat? Tell us what to eat.
So if you wanted to switch out your protein source for yogurt, you could do your eggs, your yogurt, a peanut butter. You could do avocado toast. Right, yummy in the morning.
Very yummy. Now, can you have an
with
egg
an
with
egg,
that?
without an egg, kind of whatever you feel like.
But let's talk about that. Avocado. Is
Right.
it fat?
Yes.
People get insane about the fat thing
Right.
too. Pretty soon I'm just gonna eat styrofoam. Because you get so. Do you find yourself getting anxious about stuff that you eat? I get very anxious. I do. And then I
I'm
feel
not
guilty.
that as neurotic as you
I'm
just
very
described.
Yeah. No, I
Feeling
do.
guilty
I
about
do. And
oatmeal,
you
that's
don't
not
know.
happening.
Right. Yeah.
It's very frustrating because you read books or you look on the internet or you go to, we're all guilty of doing fad diets. At least I am anyway. And
Well, those bring you in a really bad place
stress.
because that actually feeds more fat
Stress.
cells. You got
Stress.
30 billion fat cells in your body.
Well, you do. I have a little bit more, but
And the more you starve, the bigger they get.
see, that's what I'm talking about.
They get bigger and bigger and bigger because we're starving them. It goes back to the metabolic and the efficiency that we must eat in combination. And we must eat throughout the day.
Debbie wants to know, how do you feel about cottage cheese?
Love it.
I yummy it.
Love it. 4%.
When Breakstone runs out of it, they call me and I give it for my thigh. But
I thought dairy was no longer good, though.
yeah,
It's
that's
taboo
another
now.
taboo. What explain?
You know, almost 30 years ago when I started doing this,
And she doesn't
there
look
was
a day over
there
30.
wasn't any almond milk. The Kite Hill didn't exist.
Can I just say that that's not almond milk. That's almond squish.
Yes.
That's just
No, but I'm saying these are the things that are all over the news and
Right.
talk shows.
Well,
and
so
don't
let's
do this
but,
and don't
but they're
do
just
that.
news. You
And
know, they're
trainers are telling you no,
Don't
you
eat
have
that.
to
But what's
wrong with
substitute
it?
this and everything in moderation. So it's confusing. That's why
Right.
we have you here because
Right.
half the time I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
That's why I cry all day. I walk around my house going, I don't know what to eat. I don't know. I'll eat an almond and I'm like, I don't know, should I have eaten that? Or even like nuts. They're supposed to be good for you. Dr. Oz says you should have a handful of nuts. He's a surgeon. I don't really particularly care for the advice that he gives. And surgeons are not the brightest persons. No offense. I love you all, but not the brightest when it comes to medicine. So is it okay to eat nuts? We learned when I was a kid, we ate a lot of nuts. Now I grew up, they said don't eat nuts.
Right.
They're fatty. They're too fatty.
So nuts are fats.
Yeah.
Nuts are fats. You're not getting away with that. Avocados are fats.
Right.
So these are all nutrients and they're all different ones.
Okay.
It's just how you package it, which is kind of why all of this makes sense. Like only somebody that has food allergies to dairy or they really don't feel well when they
Right.
eat dairy would I recommend not to eat dairy. And then I
Okay.
don't have to recommend that. They already know that.
Okay.
You know?
Mhm.
I wouldn't say dairy's bad. I think that people that are plant-based won't eat dairy. They're not going to eat,
This
things.
plant-based diet too is getting out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, people are starving.
I do not live in the
They're
wild.
starving and they won't eat anything if it's not
I don't
plant.
think-
don't
I
get it.
will
and
tell
they
you-
look all like
Like a dead plant.
what's that word?
Sallow.
Emaciate? What's that word?
Emaciated.
Emaciated.
Yes.
I would like
Like
that.
not
look.
healthy.
Yes.
There's no color. Everything's. Like,
But what
right.
about a vegetarian? People who want to go vegan or
Well, vegan,
Vegan
is what
rather,
she's
or-
really
yeah.
talking about with
How-
plant.
Yeah.
Where do they
I
get
mean,
their
I'm not saying
protein
there's something
from?
wrong with it. I
Nuts.
just don't know how
nuts
to do
and because nuts are fat and protein and
Yes.
legumes,
Legumes.
beans. That's a fancy word for beans.
Right.
All right.
Hemp.
it. Hey now.
You know, all different kinds of things.
Wow, this is it's overwhelming. You may have to come
There's
back.
too much stuff. I mean, have you walked in Whole Foods lately? You
Yes.
could just. I
Yes.
don't know. I get anxiety.
So I buy a
when I'm in
banana
there.
bread and I leave. No, I don't.
Seriously,
It's hard. It's very
there's
very
so
hard.
much stuff.
So-
Everything.
So today what I
organic
had for
and-
breakfast was good.
I
That was a
loved
good
it.
breakfast.
I loved it.
Okay. And then I got home.
I would even throw little walnuts on that
I was at the hospital.
on the-
You're
in
lucky
the-
you're getting the oatmeal.
in the oatmeal.
But
Bring them with you.
and then for lunch I had made.
The hospital has walnuts.
They didn't have any. They had raisins. I don't need raisins. They're bugs, and then they had brown sugar. So I just took cinnamon and put it on there. And then I had for when I got home from lunch because that was at 7 and now it's like 2:30 and I was
Right.
starving.
Right.
Is it appropriate to go all those hours with nothing?
No.
Why?
So you need 3 to 5. Why? Because if you want to be efficient at burning
Yes.
and using your specific ones, because we all have different metabolic
Right.
rates, to the fullest, then you got to eat when your food's over. So the biggest take home from today is not to overeat, because if you undereat, you
Starving.
overeat.
Right.
Then
Right.
at the next time,
Exactly. 'cause
you
you're
know, if
starving.
you didn't eat at 7, 2 o'clock would have looked like a whole lot more food than it would have been if you didn't eat at 7.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So
And
you
so
should-
on and so on.
So
And-
how many hours?
And this is
Yeah.
what happens. So here's what happens. How many hours, to answer your question? The rule of thumb in my little world is 3 to 5.
Really?
Right.
Eat every 3 to 5 hours.
3 to 5. So if you're eating in that combination, what will happen is it will last a minimum of 3 hours. But it should not pass 5 hours. If you eat a meal and in 5 hours you're like, oh, I could go another 2, you could be assured that you are storing more of the food that you just ate than utilizing it.
Okay.
And
Oh.
that's the take home.
I don't think I've
When
ever gone
we
5 hours.
when we
That's
overeat,
not a worry.
we generally store more than we burn.
All right. Debbie wants to know: can she do fruit with cottage cheese?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
So that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, at least
That's
it gives
good.
a little
Don't. I
And
don't
then
think
add,
you should eat the
and
whole
add some
container.
nuts for the
I enjoy a
fat.
nut.
fat.
for the
Don't
fat.
even. All right. I just said I enjoy a nut, but you take that from where you come from. Linda Barada wants to know, and she's from the West Coast. As I understand it, if we limit processed carbs and sugar and stick with natural ones found in fruit and whole grains, we would be better off. Portion control is important. What
Oh,
is
here
your-
we go with the moderation is everything.
So I'm not a big portion
You did moderation.
sized
Really?
fanatic as much as I am proportion. So as long as if you have proteins, fats, and carbs in that mixture, you're going to do much better than if you just have a lot of crackers and a little piece of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Or you
yeah,
have a
that makes-
lot of fruit and you have a little piece of cheese.
I broke up with cheese years ago.
Okay.
I love.
But you
cheese.
like cottage cheese.
Yeah, but I don't eat it. I like it. but
Oh.
I'm all kinds of cheese I broke up with. I'm sad about that. Still not over it. Because I'm afraid of it. Because once I start,
Moderation.
I don't have that. I don't have that in me.
Control.
Linda
Self-control.
says that it's best not to get too hungry. It makes it too easy to make poor choices.
So
that's true.
okay. So this is my issue. So I could start off great in the morning, fine, because it's easy to make breakfast.
like a Nazi.
But later, when I'm coming home and you are at that moment where you're hungry, I'm not one to meal prep. You know how
Right.
people, that's what they do every Sunday. Some
Right.
of my friends, that's all they do is they cook all their meals for the week. I'm not, I just don't do that.
Right.
So then when I come home, I'm opening the refrigerator and it's just like, oh, I'll just, not that I'm picking bad things, but it's not a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it doesn't have all the components like you
Right.
just said. So then I'm just shoving things in my mouth to get through, and then it'll be till dinner.
Right. Right.
So,
So you should
so
plan
you
a
have to
snack.
meal prep.
Right. Or you should plan a snack. Like, so when you get home and you're ready to eat and your food isn't ready to be eaten,
Right.
then you need some sort of, I don't know, bar in between cottage cheese and fruit, hummus and cut up vegetables.
Okay.
That's a good go-to.
You
I
know,
like that.
mozzarella and
Mhm.
tomato. I love the avocado toast.
Yeah,
Even
that's,
as a
that sounds really
even
good.
as
I
a
love
snack,
avocado.
you know, like a slice with some avocado on top, a little salt.
I could eat 30 avocados a day if I wanted to. I swear, but I know that that's not good. But I could.
And
I
what
love it.
about at night? Because watching television, laying there.
What's a
So
good?
you
what
wanna
is a
eat
good
the
snack
most-
that you can have
Same thing.
at night?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. Protein,
Okay.
protein, carb, and you really want to visualize most of your food for your waking hours. So if you work nights, it would you would eat when you got up and before you went to bed, not before you went to bed. So that you basically, if we're not working nights, we're day people, that most of your calories are consumed before dinner. So let's say it's 2,000 that you're eating for the day.
Right.
You do the 1,500 up until dinner, and then the dinner is 500.
So dinner should always be your lightest meal.
Yes.
Yeah, so they always say that breakfast should be big.
Unless you're up really late. You know, if you're up till 2 in the morning, then you're going to need
I'm just
another
getting
snack.
started
You know?
at
Yeah.
that time.
No.
But, you know, Lorian does a lot of going out. A lot of out. It's really, particularly this time
Right.
of year, for many of us have
Right.
Yeah, and it's all these
occasion.
little finger hors d'oeuvres.
Yes.
What's
and,
a
you
good
know, it's like
clue?
You feel like you're
You-
eating something this big.
So
but
the
you're-
protein carb, right? The protein carb fat, or the appetizers. You got to choose your. You know, you can't eat appetizers, eat a meal, and eat a dessert every night and think
can't.
that's just not gonna.
pack on.
Right.
Right.
You
I mean,
can,
that's
but
an
it would not be the
extra-
best choice.
Probably
and the,
3
and
to
the
5.
alcohol. Like Amy doesn't have the alcohol calories I
Right.
do.
Not yet. It's coming.
Right.
She's gonna drink
start
it.
Yeah, alcohol is a big issue with people this time of year as well because you're drinking your calories.
Yep.
And
Right.
I will never drink a calorie. Let me tell you that. I'm chewing it before I drink it. But what's a good alternative?
But remember, alcohol is a food.
yes.
It's 7 calories per gram.
yes.
You know, so it's way more processed by your body as a fat. I'm sorry. It kind of gets more stored, you know, than it does a sugar. Everyone thinks it's sugar, sugar, sugar,
Yes,
sugar.
that
It's
turns
really
to
not a
fat,
sugar.
right? Yeah, it's
sugar.
fat.
Sugars are 4 calories per gram, not even close to 7.
Wow.
And fat is
gotta
9 calories
take
per
it down.
gram.
So much.
My sisters, I have 3 sisters. 2 of them like to knock them back. And we were at a wedding recently, and I looked at them, I'm like, I'm eating, you're drinking your calories away. And they had all this amazing food, but by the time we got inside to the dinner portion, I was like, I can't. I didn't eat anything.
Right.
I just couldn't. It was
You were full.
it was too much.
Right.
Too much.
Well, this is the season of too much.
oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely everything's too much.
Why is that? We're terrible at
Yes,
that.
only in this
I
country.
know that. This is what I don't understand. When I went to
Don't
Italy,
go travel anywhere else. There's not too
no,
much.
but when I went to Italy,
Unless it's been infected with
Exactly.
Americans.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
they eat late and they eat a lot
Mhm.
in one sitting. Don't listen. I was there. They eat a lot. Not a lot of breakfast. They do not eat a lot of breakfast. And they all smoke, and they all eat. Like their
Right.
meal at the middle of the day
Right.
is what we normally
Yeah,
eat for
it's their
dinner.
big meal.
But even their
Right.
dinner, they eat. They're not a.
I have to force myself to eat breakfast. I hate.
See, that's my favorite
I
meal.
know, and I hate
And
it.
I
have
hate
to force
dinner.
myself because I know it's not good to not eat.
You got to start
in the morning.
Right.
Right.
All right, so
Well, that's because you got to break the fast of your body. Your body's got to know, oh, it's working.
I don't know.
Kindling the wood.
It's so hard. It is. It's just a hard
Well,
process.
because I'm a coffee drinker, so the coffee takes away my appetite in
Right,
the morning. And you got
absolutely.
to wake up and
Right.
then.
Joan
then I'm not
LaSalle
hungry.
wants
Right.
to know what about eating a salad before going out to eat?
Eating a snack before going out to
A
eat.
salad.
Well,
Well, salad's got to have something in it, right?
yeah,
Other than
like
lettuce.
why would I would say, is
I
it
guess to
because
make
I
we're
think
hungry?
so she would eat less.
Right. I don't think it's going to make a difference.
Okay.
No.
I like the idea of eating something like if you have a 7:30 reservation, you know you're not eating till 8:30,
Right.
right? So if you're starving and you want to eat the waitress because she didn't come over to you quick
Exactly.
enough,
Exactly.
and so that therefore, yes, I would definitely eat something, but I would combine that
snack.
salad with if you had make kind of downsize the salad to cut up vegetables maybe with some sort of protein.
We have 2 sweetener questions. One, Linda asks, how do you feel about artificial sweeteners? And Debbie says that's the reason she puts pure sugar in her coffee.
That's a great question
Yeah.
because I've heard that the artificial sweeteners are actually causing weight gain.
Yes.
Is that true?
For years.
Really?
Wow.
Oh yeah. No fat-free things.
You don't, Lynn, you always said to me, never,
fat-free.
when anything that says light
Yeah.
or fat-free,
Right.
full of sugar.
Yeah.
Stay away from it.
Really?
Yeah.
Go for the real stuff. Like
Always
that.
the real stuff.
Always the real stuff.
Well, let's just start with the small fact that sucralose, which is the fancy one, the most abundant one now is Splenda. It's in everything now. They took
I don't
kind of
care for that.
NutraSweet out and
Right.
they kind of stepped all over that. So that is 600 times sweeter, one little packet, than sugar. So no wonder why we go to sugar and we're like, oh, this is not sweet enough.
Yeah.
That's why.
I don't use
That is
stuff.
why.
Oh my
Go to honey. Not so
Yeah,
sweet.
I like honey.
I
like honey.
Yeah, I like honey.
It
Honey,
has a
honey.
different taste though than sugar.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Right.
it's good.
Well, I
like
find like
honey.
I mean I
too.
don't, you know, I mostly drink water in the day anyways, but if I have iced tea, I always put. But I started to use Truvia because I
Right.
was like, oh, Truvia is so much better. Or
Right.
the other one, stevia and the
Right.
raw.
Truvia and stevia
Oh, from
are
plants.
plants. They're herbs. So they're not so sweet if you think about
No,
it.
they're nasty.
So
I
it's
gotta
better
say.
to have that, or it's
It
still
is.
better to have regular
they're
sugar.
okay. I would just go with the real sugar.
Wow, because I find like that you have to really like
Stir it.
stir
Yeah.
because it
It
never
takes a lot of
dissolves.
work.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
the exercise.
You're getting your cardio in. No, it is fascinating to me because I think having had been battled with my weight for so many years and then staying thin and then with menopause coming, you know, having now after 20 something years of being thin, having to battle this. And I really believe it's my own fault because I did a crazy thing. I went on that crazy starve yourself HCG thing years ago and I lost the weight. And then 3 years later, I'm back at almost where I started from because you can't live like that. And then, you know, people say, well, you have a carbohydrate addiction and you have to. No, I just want to eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm Italian. I gotta have something. You know, but I just think, like for example, we don't eat in my house white bread.
Right.
Okay, my kids would love that I would buy that. You know, the Arnold's white bread. I won't buy one's bread, but sometimes they want that. We use Italian bread or we use challah bread. They get the best
Is
of
white
both.
bread a no-no?
It's just empty.
It's like
It's
no
empty.
nutritional
so that
value.
protein, carb, fat thing doesn't work because there's
Okay.
nothing in it. That's the problem
gum.
with doing fat-free and sugar-free because then you're really not giving the body any kind of nutrients.
It's empty calories basically, but a
No,
lot
it's
of
void of calories.
Right, but it's a lot of calories.
It's void of nutrients. And the
Nutrients, right.
only thing that's going to fill you up are nutrients.
Okay.
Or enough of foods that don't have enough nutrients. And then we're just kind of binging. We're not really eating.
Right.
John wants to know what about pasta? Love pasta. I don't eat it.
So I'm a big fan of pasta.
Oh my God, I love this.
Big fan of pasta. I do prefer the whole grain pasta.
Okay.
It's on the plant-based diet.
Yes.
But combining that with a decent amount of protein, it's the portion of pasta that you really need to look
So you
out
can't
for.
eat a colander full, but you can have a cup full.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or
What-
a cup and a half or 2 cups, depending on who you are.
What about gluten-free? Everyone is gluten-free. What is this gluten?
So gluten-free is really only meant for the celiac. There is no other benefit for anyone following a
because that
gluten-free
stuff,
diet.
even when you toast it, it's just, it's not
There's,
really.
it's not really indicative
It's no.
of people who don't really have any
Yeah.
issues.
So you don't have to
With
be
gluten.
gluten-free because
Yeah.
people say I'm gluten-free. I lost 20 pounds. No, you're
No, you
gluten-free because
didn't.
you don't want to eat that stuff.
Right.
That's why.
Exactly.
So
It's terrible.
gluten-free, just so you know,
All right, tell me.
every product that is gluten-free spends a lot of time on texture and flavor because they don't have that gluten.
Because it's
So
terrible.
once you take gluten out, that texture, that
you're eating,
that Publix cake that we love so much, that spongy thing is gone.
there's no sponge.
From all of the baked products, all of
It doesn't even
breads.
toast.
Right, exactly.
Doesn't
That's the
toast.
point. So what do? They probably use a various different array of flours. So at least per cup, it's probably 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1 in terms of calories.
See, I knew that. It's just
The
terrible.
same pasta is like 200.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's a big difference because they're trying to make up that flavor.
Right.
And that
People need to understand rice does not have gluten.
No.
naturally speaking. So
Right.
in my talks for people that want to really find going gluten-free helps them, what they're really finding is going wheat-free helps them. So if you take away the white stuff out of your diet, depending on how much of it started in your life, that may or may make a difference. but if you don't eat a lot of it, it's really not going to make a big difference. But
Okay.
all the potatoes, right? The squashes that we talked about, all naturally gluten-free. Naturally.
Potatoes. I love
Naturally occurring. They could go anywhere and get a piece of chicken, a baked potato, and broccoli, and still be
And you
gluten-free.
don't have to feel guilty about eating a balanced, healthy diet. You don't have to worry. You don't have to say to yourself, "I'm going to hang myself because I ate a potato." I think that that's important. I think women in particular punish themselves and feel guilty. It's like a vicious cycle. And I can tell you this, having gone from being very overweight to thin to now a little chubby. You wind up getting into this vicious cycle of, oh my God, I ate this, but I'm hungry. Did I do the right thing? And it's back and forth and
Right.
back and forth. And I think that that's where our
I just
fault
urge
comes in.
people that are listening to get facts, because there's so much, especially Whole Foods. You walk in there, it's like a
Oh, I
theme of the month,
can't. I
the week,
can't.
the month. It's just always
It's overwhelming.
It's
it is
overwhelming.
overwhelming. It is overwhelming.
And you could spend $1,000 in there.
yeah, easily.
At least.
On organic
Right.
and non-GMO
Right.
and gluten-free.
Right.
And you
crazy.
come out
They
there,
have a lot of
you don't like
choices
anything
for
that you
those
bought.
people that are following
Of
those
course.
plans.
Right.
I find it amazing. We do a lot of supermarket tours in our practice,
I like that.
and it's like for the new vegan or the new vegetarian
golden.
or the
Yeah.
or the new little kid that just got diagnosed with celiac disease. It's like a feast in the
Well,
candy
yeah,
store,
because they
right?
feel like they have choices.
Right.
They don't feel like
When
a
I first
leper
started
walking in
tropical
somewhere.
sprue and non-tropical sprue, the celiac that
Yeah.
we call it now, I mean, there were no choices. It was really pathetic what people had to eat.
Yeah, and it was very difficult.
yes.
Yeah.
What do you think about this juicing thing? I think you got to eat.
So if
I don't think
it's
she likes it.
fatty, it's doesn't fill you up.
No, who wants
That's what I'm saying. Okay, I tried it like 3 times. So I'm like, okay, everybody's juicing. I'm just gonna try it. Oh, I'm not hungry all day.
That's a
after I
lie.
have my
Doesn't
juice.
That's
fill
a
you up.
lie.
I was hungry like 30
Well, there's
minutes
no
later.
protein in it,
I was like,
unless you
30
add the
minutes. I would have been
protein.
hungry while I was drinking it.
Exactly, but how? I don't understand
Yeah.
what's filling them up.
What do you
from
think?
that.
So here's the positive of juice. If you don't eat fruits and vegetables, it's a great way
To
to
get
get
'em in.
in your fruits and vegetables.
You gotta
Now,
have that protein.
then you could get
So
into
juice with something.
protein.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
I don't know how they just juice.
They're
Oh,
lying.
I'm juicing.
They're
I'm on a
lying.
15-day juice cleanse.
Yeah.
And she's dead on day 14. But what about
I
also the
can't.
protein shakes? The the commercial ones that I don't want to name names, but
Right.
they're in the supermarket
Right.
and you can have 2 shakes and a sensible meal,
Right.
or just the protein powder. Is that
So there's a
good?
place for all of those things. In the general, do we need those? Absolutely not.
Okay.
There is enough protein sources that are plant-based or animal-based that I can name for you that you don't need a protein shake.
Okay.
But it is definitely convenient.
It is
Like you don't
convenient.
like breakfast in
Yes.
the morning, but if
I could drink
if you
something.
drank something,
Mhm.
I would get you would get yourself to eat
But I think-
breakfast,
Yes.
and that would be just as good.
The commercial
Right.
ones on the market, though, they have a lot of sugar. in
Well,
them.
it depends on which
Yeah.
one we're talking about, but the Magic Bullet works really well
I have
for people
that. I
that
have
go
that.
right
Yeah.
Okay.
to the office or at home. 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
Again, the combo, the protein, carbon, fat, really easy to put into a shake.
Okay.
Really easy.
Give
It
us
is
an
really
example of a
easy.
shake that you would.
Well,
make.
any protein powder.
Right,
It
and-
could be pea
Mhm.
protein, hemp protein, soy protein, whey protein,
Throw some
casein,
fruit in
whatever you
there.
want.
Throw some blueberries
Yeah,
in there.
you put whatever favorite fruit
Okay.
you have. You throw some ice, and you're done.
What about
You could do a little flaxseed
Flaxseed.
or chia seeds.
or throw some nuts in there? Me, my nuts. What?
You're always eating nuts.
I love nuts. No dirty comments. What do you do about what happens if somebody wants to do the protein shake, but then they want to do it again at lunchtime? Do you advise that?
I'd have to really discuss why we're
Okay.
doing that.
Okay.
The chewing and swallowing thing
So
is
good.
really important.
Yeah.
I
agree. That's why I
are we
can't.
are we restricting with that? Is that the form of it depends on what the motive is and how long. Do we just want to stimuli narrow because I've been eating and eating and eating and I don't want to not eat because now they just heard me say that you definitely have to keep eating. You don't want to starve your body. You don't want it to guess. As soon as your body's guessing, it's holding on.
And that's true. When you don't eat, your body holds on to it and it stores it instead of burning it.
Right.
And that's what's important.
And fat eaten is easier stored than burned. So if you're not exercising, that fat protein carb combo, you want to have less fat because fat goes into fat unless you're
fat
burning
attracts
that.
fat.
More easily stored, I should say.
So Lisa, you can get to Lisa in many different ways. Her phone number is 786-543-1044. She is also healthwisenutrition.net. And her address is 7100 West Camino Real in Boca Raton, Florida, Suite 401.
Because we could be here for the next 3
I
years
know,
talking
right?
about
We
nutrition
can.
and
We
diet.
can.
and
Debbie
weight
says,
and-
to juicing. To juicing. I agree, Debbie. I agree.
All right, so let's just move on off the
Yes.
nutrition so we can start to wrap things
Yes.
up. And
And that's pretty
I
much it.
think I think you'll stick around here because we're almost done.
Yeah.
If you'd like to.
You can
Okay.
hang out with
Whatever
us.
you want.
Hang out, be one of the boards. You're an honorary board.
All right, so let's talk, Amy. What recipe? Because we're doing Thanksgiving recipes
we all
one a
have-
week. So
This will be a good one with the nutritionist. No, we all have.
we're
we all
off
have
the
leftover
moderation.
turkey.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So what I do is with my leftover turkey, I make turkey like cakes, kind of like a crab cake, but we do a turkey cake. And what I do is I cut up or dice the turkey. I put egg whites in it, and kind of get it like together. And then you got to roll it in a breadcrumb, and then you can either bake them. I do a little pan, and you can bake them, or you can fry them, which is so good when they're fried. And you can put whatever inside the turkey that you want. You can put peppers if you want. You can put onions. My mom used to chop up spinach and put it in there. Whatever, I suggest you stay away from frying the stuffing or frying the mashed potatoes with it, although that is a treat. But that's what I do with my leftover turkey.
Nice.
You could use wheat germ.
Okay, you could use wheat germ. There you
There
go.
you go.
But it's good. It really is good.
Wheat germ, and then it gets really toasty if you
Yum. If you bake
fry
'em.
on that. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, there you
nice.
go. It's really good. A little cranberry sauce on the side, and you know what? You got left. It's better than turkey soup.
And also, for those of you who maybe follow the Boca Voice, I do a segment called What's Cooking Boca, and we're also doing recipes on that program, which airs every Thursday. And
Fancy schmancy.
I had the opportunity to go around to my favorite restaurants in Boca, and these fantastic chefs are sharing their personal recipes, and we're going to have the first one this Thursday, and you really want to watch, and he's giving you total directions on how to make it. I can even make it. That's how.
And she doesn't cook at all.
And I don't cook
At
so
all.
It's really, really easy.
Which is
so
awesome. I can't wait to see
That's
it.
at the Boca Voice.
It makes me hungry though when I watch.
I know. And my Thanksgiving helper hack, where is it? I lost it. Is I forget, where is it? Oh, here it is. No,
She's all over the place. She's all over the place.
not prepared. Oh, so
Is this going to be a silly? Oh.
no, of course, it has to do with alcohol. But everyone always wants to know. I don't know how much alcohol to buy. I'm having, how many
Well,
people
if
are
you're
having?
coming, you
How
don't
many
know.
people are you having?
I'm having 21. I'm having
Extra
20.
for you.
You have
So this
21.
isn't my chart. This is an average.
20. I'm having 21
chart.
for Thanksgiving.
Okay, so this is very helpful, and we'll put this up on our website as well, or on our page.
Yes, we will.
So, if you're having wine, you're going to have one bottle per 2 people
Except
per
if she's
hour. Per hour.
per hour.
Per hour. Okay, beer is 2 per person per hour.
Oh, I think they're alcoholics who wrote that.
Spirits, which I guess is like
Hard
hard
liquor.
liquor. 1 bottle per 5 people per hour. That's
That's a
definitely-
rowdy crowd.
That's definitely not accurate.
Are you
That should be
serious?
more.
Matt, are you listening to this? Matt is our engineer and all around important guy.
Mixers, 3 bottles per each bottle of alcohol, and ice, at least 1 pound per person per hour. Now, ice is always a big
What's
problem,
going
especially in
on?
South Florida, all you northeastern
Yeah, you go out in the yard and get it.
Yeah, you can go outside and get it. But in South Florida, we still have the AC on because it's very warm here. Start making your ice now and put it in Ziploc or put it in freezer containers.
I'm still confused
throwing
about
it in the
one
freezer so
bottle
you have-
per 2 people per hour.
Okay, this is not the Italian scale. This would be doubled probably.
Oh, stop.
Thanksgiving.
I think that's an awful
One
lot of
bottle
booze.
per
What do you
2 people.
think?
You only get 4 glasses out of a bottle of wine.
Notice who knows how much.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
I would.
So we will put
I
this
don't
little guide on. Sweet as it's embarrassing. I've been to people's houses before where they've run out of alcohol and they're embarrassed, and then you have to go
As
out and
they
where do you
should
get-
be.
You know, so you don't want to run out.
I had no
it's
idea.
better to have more. You'll always use it. All the holiday parties, you're bringing
Yeah,
a
that's
bottle of
true.
wine or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always better to have more. So that was
Pers-
my
I-
helpful
I
Thanksgiving.
like
hint.
that. I like that. Well, we have a little new segment. We're going to talk about, since we're the broads from Boca, we're going to talk about Boca facts. And the nickname of our city is the City for All Seasons. And did you know that IBM was created here, and we are the home of Office Depot and Tyco's headquarters because we are just so beautiful. That's why they came here. I think
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
It is.
We
have
are a
lot
little
of
bit of a
amazing
little industry
corporations.
city
Yeah.
here, just letting you know. So you should come and
Yeah.
visit, stay at the Boca Retirement Resort, come visit us at the studio. Maybe we'll put you on. I don't know. We'll see. Now we're going to have this rush of people. No, I'm only kidding. It would be so nice. But we are about to end our show this evening. Lisa, we want to thank you. And again,
thank you so
Lisa
much.
is at
You're welcome.
Lisa
My
Delaney
pleasure.
is at healthwisenutrition.net. Her phone number is 786-543-1044. And even if you're out of state, she will be more than happy to help you. So give her a call.
I bet you get real busy after January, huh?
Yeah, everybody's starting new.
Always busy.
Yeah,
New
she
Year's
is always busy.
resolutions.
It's very hard to find an appointment. with her.
The guilt.
All right,
That's all
so we're
needed.
going to end our show this evening. We hope you had a very nice evening because we had a very nice evening being here. And we will see you next week.
See you next Monday. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for joining the Two Broads from Boca. You can see us live every Monday at 7 p.m. on Facebook. See you next week, and remember, keep it classy, sassy, and a little smartassy.